What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ what they call me, and today we got another DCKO tie-in, this time with issue number 27 of The Flash and part 2 of Impulse Point. And in case you guys missed the previous issue, I'll go ahead and I'll put a link up at the top of the screen for you. And if you haven't watched it, go ahead, click that, watch that, and then double back over here and join up with the rest of us. And I also put a card up at the end of the video as well to the previous Flash issue as well as the entire DCKO playlist. But when we last left off with this thing, Impulse had taken a trip back in time thinking that he could stop this whole Darkseid oncoming apocalypse. But he was sorely mistaken, because Darkseid is. And Darkseid had taken control of all of time, and now the Speed Force is dying. And not only that, but when Impulse went back, he was followed by Wally West Flash, and both of them ended up time displaced in a completely changed world, starting with a whole new version of Max Mercury, one that is trying to worship Darkseid. So if you guys are ready to find out if Impulse and Wally West can somehow fix time and fix the Speed Force from dying, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we picked this issue up right after the last one ended, as Impulse had come face to face with a different version of Max Mercury, one that was worshiping Darkseid and trying to join on in his legion. As he says to Bart Allen, Impulse, "For years I toiled, lost, but now at last comes a reckoning, a glorious reckoning. Tell me, in your future, is his dominion eternal and complete?" But then we pick up with Bart, who's pretty terrified right now of what he's seeing, wondering why one of his trusted allies is now worshiping Darkseid. And he thinks to himself that right now Max Mercury sounds really weird, saying things like Omega Speed and the unknown sacred secrets of our dark god. And for it is told the Speed Force must die, and then I'll be the fastest entity in existence through the power of death, through the power of Omega. Meanwhile, Impulse is thinking to himself that Max has also got some new friends, and he thought he recognized things at first, but he realizes the vibes here are really off. And what he means by that is Impulse comes from the future. Bart Allen comes from the future. He was born in the 31st century, and at that time there was the Legion of Superheroes, but this particular Legion came from a different world. This Legion comes from a world inspired by Darkseid, causing them to call themselves now the Legion of Darkseid. As Cosmic Boy looks on and refers to the rest of his team, "Look at this little Speed Force dork. Thought he could cheat his way through time? Get one over on our Omega Lord and Master." But the rest of the Legion is like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And here's where we find out Max Mercury is going by a different name, as Saturn Girl calls him Whip Whirlwind and tells him to prove his loyalty to Darkseid and kill Impulse. Meanwhile, we then pick up with Wally West, who had gotten lost from Bart Allen at the end of the previous issue, but we see now that he's finally caught up to him. "My name is Wally West," he thinks, "and I think I'm somewhere in the past." Impulse traveled through a collapsing time stream to try and stop Darkseid before he ever got started. This as opposed to the Justice League's harebrained death tournament. Then Darkseid almost killed us. That's how good of an idea Impulse had. "I need to find Bart now before he makes things even worse." But in that moment, Bart whizzes right past him. "Little help!" he screams. And Wally tries to chase after him, "Bart!" But Bart responds that he can't talk because he's being chased. And when Wally asks who he's being chased by, it doesn't take long before he's found out, as he's tackled by this new Whip Whirlwind, formerly known as Max Mercury. And he tackles Wally right into the water. As Wally then thinks time stream's on fire, the Speed Force is in crisis, and now Max Mercury is trying to drown me? I left him on the watchtower. What's he doing here? I mean, I'd ask him, but I can't talk underwater. That's more of an Arthur thing. What I can do, though, as he grabs Max Mercury and he propels them to the top, as he continues, is move. We exit the water at Mach 12, and then he drops Max Mercury. I hate to say it, but Bart was right. Even with the Speed Force in pain, we're moving faster in the past due to Time Trapper pumping the brakes on Darkseid throughout history. Which we see that part in DCKO 1, that Time Trapper is slowing down the past, allowing the Justice League to try to fight off Darkseid. But Wally continues, "But that doesn't mean it's my lucky day. as the Legion of Doom catch up and attack him. And Saturn Girl, she flies in to catch a falling Max Mercury and tells him that these flashes are too fast. The both of them, they're too fast. But Max is like, please, or should I say whip whirlwind? But he's like, please enlighten me with Omega speed. But he's told that he's not ready. While Wally continues to think to himself, this has to be a young Max Mercury, native to the 19th century. Darkseid must have gotten his hooks into his mind early. Saturn Girl could be distorting his every thought. As Wally crashes to the ground after being slammed down by Lightning Lad. But as Wally is slammed down, he reacts to the last thing Max Mercury's mentioned, Omega speed. And they tell him that it's the next big thing, courtesy of Darkseid. He's woven it into space-time itself. Surely you could feel it eating your speed force alive. Then they tell him that we need Impulse. He's a key conduit, an Allen, one of those named by Darkseid to be cold in his conquest of the speed force. He needs to be caught before he can wreak further temporal damage. But once again, Max responds, I told you, the boy is too fast for me. Something quickens him even more. But that's when Cosmic Boy tells Saturn Girl to get her. And Saturn Girl responds that she's already on her way. And then we pick up with Bart Allen, Impulse, as he's still on the run and he's thinking to himself, what's going on? What's wrong with the Speed Force? It's like it's screaming. I don't want to fight Max. He's like I don't know, but I care about him. And Wally. Man, I messed this up. I messed this all up. Then he looks up at the train and he notices one of these old-timey guys and he's like, that guy's hat. It's so old. Cool stash. Trans-Siberian. Wow, I guess I'm in Siberia, he realizes. But all his wonderment ends when he's cut off by a charging XS, the cousin of Bart Allen. And she tells him, you're going nowhere, bud. As he thinks to himself after he just crashed into her. Remember when I told Iray I didn't know how to drive a car? That's because I failed driver's ed. I mean, most of high school sucks. Boring, slow. But driver's ed was the worst. I do remember the part about head-on collisions though. Like, they're really bad. But then XS radios back to the Legion telling her that she's got Bart Allen down. And Saturn Girl responds that they're inbound. Meanwhile, Wally West has got his hands full with Max Mercury as he shouts out, Max! But Max is running circles around Wally right now and he says, you don't know me, stranger. But Wally responds, yes, I do. You're one of my closest. Max, listen to me. This isn't you. All of this is wrong. But Max responds, no, it's you who is wrong. Speed is the quest. It is the sacred truth. But your speed is corrupt, inadequate, and dying. His speed, Omega speed, is the true speed, the one speed, all speed. Then he stops circling the block around Wally and gives him a super slap across the face. And it is to be respected, he continues, for it is he, the one, the absolute. But Wally thinks to himself, okay, I'm done. And then he gets up and races past the Legion. But he snatches something en route. A dark Legion ring, he thinks. I'm betting these function similarly to the Legion rings I know. Combined with the Speed Force and the boost I'm getting from Time Trapper, I should be in for a pretty good time as he starts flying at super speed. But damn it, we need to be more careful. Sounds like Darkseid's trying to replace the Speed Force with some kind of Omega upgrade. The big guy wants to control time itself, no matter the cost. If Bart or I upset things any further, we risk destroying reality. That kid is a bull in a china shop. Well, more like a hyperactive jackrabbit in a china shop. He's always moving at top speed. But then we pick back up with Bart as he's still being held down by XS, his actual cousin in the main universe. Well, the main timeline. And he's like, cousin Jenny? But she responds, I have no cousin. My only family is the Legion. My master named me XS, the Legion's living embodiment of Omega Speed. The heck's Omega Speed? Man, sounds dumb, Bart responds. But she responds, it puts your Speed Force to shame, and it makes me the fastest. But while she's talking, Bart is out of there. But she manages to catch him very quickly onto the train. And she tells him, you want to do this in front of an audience? Fine by me. Unless you want to join us. Join the Legion of Darkseid. Meanwhile, Wally manages to catch up to the train and he thinks, come on, Bart, not on a train full of innocent people. Everyone aboard has a destination, a path that leads to the rest of their life. But I guess we're changing history today. Sure hope it doesn't destroy everything. Meanwhile, inside of that train, Bart's cousin Jenny, XS, well, this Darkseid version of his cousin, she tells Bart that you're the fastest one of them. You're the fastest one of them all. We've learned this to be true. And it's a new age. Forget the old ways. Embrace Omega. No more heroes. Just power. Can't you see? Darkseid is. And Bart responds, Darkseid is what? And she's like, no, Darkseid is. And he's like, what is he? And she's like, no, like he is. Darkseid is. But then she's interrupted by Wally, who joins them on the train. Jenny Ognats, but from wherever this other Legion is from. And she looks at him and she says, Wally West, Darkseid wants you dead. And she tries to attack him, but he's too fast for her. And he makes her miss. I bet, he says. But tell him I said no deal, as he throws her off the train. Hey, that's my cousin, Bart responds. No, Bart, it's not. This is an excess from Darkseid's reality. She's trying to kill us. Max is too. And now, because you took the fight here, every one of these bystanders is caught in between. Then Bart responds, she may not be my cousin, but she still looks like my cousin, and you just threw her out of a window. Meanwhile, the Legion decides to kill all the passengers on the train. That'll slow those two nice guys down. But on the train, Bart and Wally are still arguing. Listen to me, Wally says to him. We need to get over 100 people off this train in the next 3 seconds. That means permanently altering over 100 courses of history, all because you had to leap into the past. But Bart's like, we're heroes. We should change history. We should fix it. Every bad thing. But then the ceiling is ripped off of this train. Oh man, Bart thinks. And Cosmic Boy tells Lightning Lad to go ahead, light them all up. And now Wally's like, he's gonna electrify this train car. Get your hands in the air, your feet, he tells all of the people. But Bart knows that they're in Siberia. He tells them, Wally, they don't speak English. But Bart knows Russian and he tells the people, danger, hands, feet, air. And Lightning Lad grabs hold of the train and starts to electrocute it, ready to roast. But everyone is able to get their hands and legs up off the floor, so they miss being electrocuted. Meanwhile, Wally West grabs the bag of one of the passengers and throws it up to the air, knocking Lightning Lad back. Then he looks over to Bart. You speak Russian? And Bart's like, dude, I was so bored on that watchtower that I speed read a bunch of language dictionaries. So Wally tells him to get these people off the train now. Then Wally thinks to himself, we do it in 2 seconds, not 3, because despite it all, Bart and I work better together. But we've still got major problems. As the Legion manages to lift the train into the air, and Wally catches Bart just as Bart is about to fall out of the sky from the train. Meanwhile, XS is on the ground, Allens and West. Wait, that's it. I know how to grind them to a halt permanently. Irma, activate the time bubble. We're getting out of here. And Saturn Girl's like, to where? When? And she responds, to Central City, right when the lightning struck. Then Wally continues to think, time bubbles. This Legion must have invented the same device somehow, just like the rings. That's how they traveled here to the past. But now, they're going somewhere else. Of course, Bart and I are still on the train at a good 700 feet in the air. And as the train crashes to the ground, Wally thinks to himself, after he checks on Bart, who is okay. But he thinks to himself, I let us both go, accelerated into the speed force with the fall. My aura barely cushioned us. But then Wally starts to argue with Bart again. I hate time travel. It always backfires. Why can't you ever just listen to me? Why can't you see things my way for once? Because I'm not you, Bart responds. Bart, you're right. I'm sorry. You're not. And Bart's like, I'm not just another Flash. I'm me. And Wally responds, yeah, I know the feeling. But then Bart realizes that something's off. Wally, something's not right. I don't have my power. It's gone. Is the Speed Force dead? What? No, I can feel it. It's hurting, but it's here. Just not for me. As Wally realizes, the Legion, they must have changed something in the future. Your past. We have to get your grandfather. We have to get Barry Allen now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what are you guys thinking about this Flash part of the DCKO tie-in and how they're changing the past? And are you guys stoked to see Barry Allen in the next one? I kind of am. I'm curious to see how this thing goes. But you guys know I want to hear all your thoughts and theories. And I want to hear what you guys think is going to happen in this next one. And how will Bart get his powers back? But you guys, if you really want to help out this channel, you can do a huge service by dropping a like, sharing this video, and subscribing to the channel for the biggest icons in the comic book world. And you can also help out this channel greatly by hitting that new hype button. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.